Hello there. My name's Jim Bruner, and this is Antiques Roadshow. And we're in Eastern Kentucky this week. And I think it's going to be a really good episode. It's always really interesting to kind of find out about your history. Well, the first guest is going to be Caleb. Hello there, Caleb.
Hi, Jim.
Hey. Oh. Let's see here. That's an interesting item you got here. Where'd you get this?
This was from my grandfather, and his grandfather had it before him. It's like an old, well, he told me it was a coffee grinder, but I mean, you can grind anything in it, man. Like coffee, like beans, pot, peppers. I mean, anything that needs to be grinding.
Oh yeah, it's really interesting here, and you got the little place where you catch the design's really nice. So how old would you say this here grinder is?
I would say a good 500 years.
500 years.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at the craftsmanship.
Quite imagination here. Well, actually, it's not 500 years. It's more like, I'd say about 80 years. 80 years. This actually is it's a very rudimentary grinder device that dates back from probably, I'd say, 1922. It's a grinder device, and one of those ingredients you were listing off there was actually right on the money for what kind of grinder it was. Did your great-grandfather like jazz music?
He loved jazz music.
He loved jazz music.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah, he really, I bet he did. See, this is actually a weed grinder. From, yeah, it was actually designed as a weed grinder, and it was these kind of grinders that would, they would have at the beginning of their, especially during the Harlem Renaissance, they would have these, set up before their jazz shows. They'd have a little guy go up there and he'd be grinding the weed for everybody. Be like a all-night weed-a-thon. It was quite impressive, actually. People like to think that, the hippies knew how to smoke weed back in the day. Well, actually, no, it started a lot longer than that,
Wow.
It's actually, yeah, and they'd catch all the little bits here and everything like that. It was really interesting,
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they used to make when they catch all that, they make a can of butter, and they make all kinds of good old,
Can of butter? I've never made that.
Yeah, well, what you do is you take the milky substance that's like a butter from I don't know, you go to your local Walmart or your Kroger, and you take the butter and you put the wheat in it and you cook it for a few hours, and you can make anything from pasta to cookies.
Really?
Even General Tso's. It's a really remarkable substance.
Tso's,
yeah, it is.
See, I always just use it, grind out my pot.
Yeah,
So
well,
what you're saying
it looks
is,
like you are definitely your great-great-grandfather's grandson. So,
really? That's amazing. That's amazing.
I'd say it's probably worth, probably about, $7,000.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
$7,000.
That's amazing. Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna go pawn this thing.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. All right, we'll have our next guest. But first, we're cutting a commercial.
Barnes & Noble, located on the ground floor of the Keene Johnson Building, has been serving students since 2002. With our friendly customer service, our booksellers are here to help. We have textbooks for every class, trade books for recreational reading, school, and dorm supplies. For any college student, this is a one-stop store. This is Barnes & Noble College Store. Sigma Nu, making tomorrow's leaders today. Sigma Nu has been on campus over the past 50 years. Sigma Nu stays involved in the community, volunteering at local events. Sigma Nu raised over $3,000 for St. Jude's Make-A-Wish, won Best Fraternity on campus, and among many other awards such as AOPI's Lip Sync, Best Overall GPA, and Best Non-Alcoholic Social. Go Greek, Rush Sigma Nu.
Hello, name's Jeb Bruner, and we're back on Antiques Roadshow in Eastern Kentucky. And I'd like to welcome my next guest. His name's Jim Bob. How you doing there, son?
Pretty good. Can I start off saying, Jeb Bruner,
Sure.
that I have been an admirer of yours for years. Me and my kids watch you every Sunday before church.
That's why I like it. My show before church. Bigger priorities. All right. So, what'd you bring me today?
Well, it's a statue of Buddha. I got it at the Peddler's Mall last weekend, and the man said it's from the land of the rising sun and that Buddha himself handcrafted it.
Well, let's see here. I can tell you first off, there's no way the Buddha made this, because the Buddha died about a long time ago. He ate rancid pork, and some nobleman was trying to get rid of some old bad ham, and he just didn't want to be a dick about it, so he ate the ham and he died. That's why he was so noble. But anyway, sorry. Doctor says I might be developing cancer from smoking pipe so much. Anyway, all right. So, first off, I can tell you that this thing right here is probably not a Buddha statue. He looks like a Buddha. He's got the smiling visage and the long ears that represent wisdom. But what you can see right here in his belly, a little doohickey right there, that's actually a symbol of Huan Shan. And what that tells me is, I'm going to take you back briefly to the turn just before the 20th century, 1890s. There's a guy named Huan Shan that ran a whole bunch of laundries that were actually fronts for whorehouses and opium dens. But they were like the McDonald's of opium dens back in the day. They had a whole university of training the whores and how to prepare the opium. They were just incredibly astounding places back in the day. I mean, presidents loved to go back there, celebrities. It was really popular. Charlie Chaplin spent all the time. He spent thousands of dollars there all the time because, you know, he was a pervert. But anyway.
Well, I'll be damned.
Anyway, Huan Shan, he would set these statues up all over the place, and people would be like, oh, Buddha statue, that's cute. No, it's actually an advertisement for a whorehouse, an opium den. And it's kind of like the McDonald's arch of opium den and whorehouses. It was really effective. And actually, an interesting story, side note, a guy named Robert Kinlicky, who started the whole Bob's Big Boy franchises, his iconic character, the Bob's Big Boy, was based off this little man. And during an opium-induced insanity, after a 24-hour whore and opium session, he emerged out, got himself a hamburger and saw one of these advertisements and was like, gonna do this. Well, I'm gonna say that this is probably worth about $25,000. It's really nice. I like it a lot. And this is wrapping it up.